All right, Pat, we have Mr. Bradford Bailey here, who's with Bailey Fitness, and he owns and operates this fitness, a company that specializes in geriatric wellness. And also, he is exercise physiologist, and he designs and implements elderly fitness programs for assisted living and independent living communities.
Yeah.
And in one of those independent living communities, he has a client named Mr. Ben Wright, who is 90 years young.
That's wonderful.
We welcome them to Atlanta Live Set, their first time to be here. And Mr. Ben, we are so glad to have you because we have a lot in common, because I have found out that you love vegetables, and you also like fatback bacon.
I do.
And if you can eat fatback bacon and be 90 years old, that's an encouraging thing for me.
That's very encouraging to me.
Very encouraging. So, Bradford, why don't you start out and tell about how you became involved in the fitness industry, and then we'll lead on up to Mr. Ben.
Yes, ma'am. Well, it's a pleasure to be here tonight, Miss Betty. In the book of Leviticus, I think it's chapter 19, verse 32, 33, it states that you should stand up in the presence of the aged and have respect for your elders.
Right.
And that's something that I was taught to live by my family, by my church, and by my community. And it's something that's deeply embedded in me. So with that led me in the direction of working with elderly people. And it's just something that I enjoy and that I get a lot out of.
Amen.
Yes,
and since this is a Seniors Today program, we want to really celebrate you and what you're doing, because I hope that you will be able to go to some of the other places that maybe are watching tonight, or our pastors, you know, they could have you in for a Saturday fitness program at the church or something, you know. It's just so many things that you could help a church, and you could help in the community no matter where. And so how long then have you been actually working in your own business?
I started this company about 5 years ago.
Okay.
Again, I'm a clinical exercise physiologist, which means I specialize in using exercise as medicine.
Okay.
So, and my specialty is geriatric fitness specifically. Okay, so what we do is we use exercise. We go into assisted living and independent living communities and design and implement exercise programs for the elderly. So we just want to keep them active, keep them moving, because that's one of the things that we see with as people as we age.
Yes.
Then we see a lot of muscle weakness, a lot of loss
that muscle, don't you?
Right, a lot of muscle loss, a lot of bone density loss, and this is what sometimes leads to falls and leads to elderly people falling and having breaks. So that's what I'm in the business of preventing that. Prevention.
That's great.
Do you find that when you visit the senior centers and everything, do you find that most of them are just sitting around and not doing anything? So this is a good way, I'm sure, for you to get them up and get them moving.
Absolutely. That is what it is. But the one thing I want to note is that I believe that I get a lot more out of doing this than they do.
Oh,
because it's just a learning process.
And
Mr. Ben here is 90 years of age, and when I went into his facility as a fitness expert, I tell you, I think he's the expert. I've learned a lot more from him. I use him as a mentor and as an advisor, and I really learn a lot from him.
Well, Mr. Ben, why don't you put in your 2 cents worth, as we say, and tell us about what happened to you in your life that brought about you wanting to stay physically fit? Were you always like that?
I was always very active, but basically it's through faith and in yourself, faith in God, and what you're prepared to take whatever comes your way and stay active in life. And as you stated, I love fat meat and I love vegetables. And I grew up eating a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruit, and I've always been active. And when I was in the Army, we took exercise. I was one of the boys that went in a CC camp. We took exercise every day. And from then on, I followed through. And I've continued, even though I retired, I had a workshop and continued working, stayed active all the time. Now that I'm in a home, don't have a shop, I'd still go down and take my exercise every day.
That is
You
cool.
go to the fitness room and work out on all the machines and everything
Oh, yes.
I see him daily
every
doing
day.
exercise.
Do you do that in the mornings, or do you like the evenings to do your
I
exercising?
prefer the morning, not too early.
Okay, okay.
Do you get a lot of sleep? You think enough sleep?
Oh, sure. I go to bed about 10 o'clock,
Okay.
roughly about 10. And I can get up about any time from 6 o'clock on.
And now you are independently. That you're not even in assisted living yet.
Right.
You are still independently taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
And you wash your clothes.
Oh, yes, we have washing machines in the building. I do my own ironing, too.
Okay.
Well, now, are you still
great.
driving?
Oh, yes.
Oh my
Do
goodness.
you really?
Yeah.
That is wonderful.
Impressive.
It's
Very impressive. Very.
That's why we wanted you to be here. There's a lot of people out there right now that may be just 70 and saying, I can't even do that at 70.
Yes.
But we're going to inspire them to get up and to begin to exercise and get themselves back to where they can be. And now, is it ever too late, Bradford?
No, ma'am, it's certainly not. I have several clients. I know 10 that I could think of that are in their 90s. I know I have a lady that's 106 that
106.
exercises twice a week.
Wow.
A lady that just turns 104 tomorrow that exercises. Several in their hundreds, like Mr. Ben. Several in their 90s. So it's never too late.
Never
That is
too late.
wonderful.
Another, a lot of people may ask, what role does religion play in exercise and in longevity, rather?
Right.
What role does religion play? Why? There has been several studies done by experts, and they went all across the globe to where people live late into their late 90s and 100+ years, and they had studied factors that made them live long, their longevity. One of the things was, of course, a healthy diet, like Mr. Ben has, being active, of course, being able to be involved in social activities with the family, like being able to cook with the family, being involved with your grandchildren,
Yes.
great-grands. But guess what? Something else that many believers may not know about, but many non-believers may not know about, but us believers know, is that religion played a great role. Believing in a higher power,
Yes.
being a Christian.
Yes.
And that's another thing that I've noticed about people in their 90s and hundreds. They're always well-versed in the Bible.
Amen.
Always.
Yes, they
Yes.
know the word.
Yes, ma'am.
It's hidden in their heart.
All right.
May not be able to read it as well as you used to, but you still got it down in your heart, don't you, Mr. Ben?
If you have faith, you have discipline.
That's right.
And discipline is the key to working out, keeping yourself fit.
Oh,
right.
you need
That's
to
right.
preach on that a
That's
little
right.
bit. Go ahead and preach a little bit more, Brother Ben.